Okay, so before I finish and take all my pattern pieces off the fabric and remove the excess fabric here, I need to make sure to go through and mark all of these extra pieces that I need. Like we need to mark that guy, we need to mark where these little dots are going, we need to mark this fold line, all of that stuff. The extra things that I've written on your pattern, you do need to transfer them as much as possible. So we're going to want to transfer all of our little triangular marks, the little marks where the small dots and the big dots. The one things that we don't need to transfer over are my writing. Like, we don't need to know that we need to cut 2 on our fabric because we've already cut 2 at this point. So we just need to transfer things. When we get to the dart, we can transfer the 2 circles and then this circle, and then you can connect the dots with your ruler to make this dart. Okay, now that you've pulled all your fabric back and you have this lovely bit of cabbage, this you can throw away or you can hang on to it, just depends on what you want to do. I'm going to put it in my lovely cabbage patch right here. Sorry for my trash can. So now what we need to do is we've made all of those fun markings on this side of our fabric. Now we need to do it on the opposite side because we need to know markings on both sides. So we've moved all of our pattern weights out of the way, and now we've marked the other side. And you might be thinking to yourself, but Laura, what about pieces number 4 and 5? You mean these 2 pieces right here? Well, let's cut them out right now. The reason we didn't do them before is because they are on a completely different piece of fabric. It's on that 9-inch piece of fabric that came with your packet. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay it out completely flat. No fold whatsoever. So we're just going to put it over here. And we're going to, hold on. I'm just going to open it out completely so it's 45 inches wide. And we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing. We're going to take our pattern pieces and we're going to put them on this piece of fabric, but we only need one of them. So we're only going to cut one piece. I'm going to get these all nicely on the straight of grain, and here's our grain line here, and so it is still parallel to our selvage edge. And I'll get my ruler out here in just a moment to check it. Now what we need to know about piece number 4 is we can tell that the grain line is on askew. So when we put it on here, we're going to have to make sure that that the grain line is still parallel to the selvage, and it's going to end up on our fabric a little off, and that's okay. We want it to be. So now you may be asking, how do I get this guy on grain line when there's no room to get it from here to here? Well, we know that this is on grain now, so what we can do is make sure that this is nice and parallel, and we can use that to make sure that this guy is on grain. Now, that means that this number 5 piece needs to be on grain. If it is not on grain, then number 4 will not be on grain. So we just need to be really careful that this first piece is, and then that way number 4 will be as well. And now that everything is laid out, let's cut it out. And then once again, before we move our pattern pieces off of here, we want to make sure that we mark all of the things that need to be marked. So the circles, the triangles, and all of that kind of information that is pertinent to us. So the last thing that we need to cut out is our interfacing, and that is that lovely piece of white, very flimsy fabric that came in your packet as well. And we're going to talk more about that in the next video, but first we just need to cut out our pieces that need to be on this. And for us, that is going to be piece number 4, 5, and number 7. So I've gathered my pattern pieces, and what I know is if I look at my pattern pieces and read what's written there, I know that I need to cut 1 of number 5, 1 of number 4, and I need to cut 2 of number 7. Now when we cut number 7, we want to make sure that we have 2 of them that are opposite sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold up one side of my interfacing just so it's nice and flat, and that I can fit this pattern piece on here. Now the other fun thing to know about interfacing is that there is no grain. So you can put it anywhere you want to on here, whatever makes the most sense to you, and so that it all kind of just fits. I'm doing this way, however you can, if you're feeling the way you want, you can always put one right here and then flip it over and have it over there. It's just completely, it's up to you. So, but for me personally, because I only want to cut it once, I'm going to fold a small piece of my fabric of this interfacing in, place this guy on here. I'm actually going to unfold just a little bit so I can save a little bit more of my fabric, because economics, yo. And I'm going to get my pattern weights, I'm going to weight it down, and I'm going to cut them out. So after looking at our interfacing pieces, I do know that we need to cut another piece of each one of these. We need to cut another number 5, another number 4, and 2 more number 7s out of the muslin fabric. You should have enough fabric in your kit in order to do this. So just like we did cutting the lining pieces, we're going to line up number 5 on grain, and then from number 5 we'll be able to line up number 4, and then we'll be able to cut 2 more of number 7. So go ahead and do that, and then make sure to transfer all of your markings. And then once you've transferred all your markings over to your pieces, you will be ready to get started on your 1930s skirt.